Welcome everyone to the next Let's Play that Drak and Andrea take on, which is not King's Quest. It's not Kingdom Hearts either. We decided to change things up a little bit and take a look at Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time, at the request of Andrea. Since you, what was it? Last year, you actually got interested in the Prince of Persia series.
Oh yeah, I did.
And decided to look into all of it. Now, we're starting here. It doesn't necessarily mean that we won't take on other older Prince of Persia games, but this is actually the one that I love the most. This is the one that I think is the best of the series, and it's because of the reboot that happened. So let's go ahead and start things up with a brand spanking new game as we go through Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time in an Ubisoft reboot of the franchise. It happened all the way back in 2002, I believe. Let's go ahead and get started.
Most people think time is like a river that flows swift and sure in one direction. But I have seen the face of time, and I can tell you, they are wrong. Time is an ocean in a storm. You may wonder who I am and why I say this. Sit down, and I will tell you a tale like none that you have ever heard. Know first that I am the son of Shahram, a mighty king of Persia. On our way to Azad with a small company of men, we passed through India, where the promise of honor and glory tempted my father into a grievous error.
No, my son.
Your Majesty, I trust you will remember your promise. The Maharaja's treasure hoards lie within.
See how he fights. Like a warrior son.
That is definitely not like a warrior's son,
Oh yes.
but that's okay.
And why should we trust that guy? Nah.
Because you should. He just let you in.
Regret as I gazed upon the destruction we had wrought, or at least humility at the speed with which a world can be transformed from a good world into a hell. If you think so, you are mistaken. For in that moment I thought of one thing only. The honor and glory I would bring my father by fighting like a warrior in my first battle.
Okay, so this is... just to bring people up to speed, this is a reboot of the franchise. The original franchise was just go save the princess in such amount of time, otherwise the evil vizier would kill them.
Then I'll continue.
But this one is basically trying to tell a story within the Prince of Persia universe, and one that I think actually works for the franchise. And obviously this was done by Ubisoft, who now currently, the same team who worked on the Prince of Persia games, now works on Assassin's Creed. But man, it would be really cool if we got a Prince of Persia reboot, wouldn't it? Bam. Okay, so obviously I know what I'm doing here, but this is the game in 2002 that I think kind of revolutionized a lot of 3D platformers at the same time. And I actually know that this game influenced a indie game way back when, and it's a game that we played on Drak and Shadow, actually. And that's Braid.
Oh yeah.
Because the time mechanics that we'll eventually deal with were influencing Braid at that point. And, oh, I can't remember his name to save my life. Jonathan something, but... Oh no, he's got a spear.
Well, face my sword.
Are you the big dog? Do you have a spear? Sorry, I just barely got done recording a wrestling podcast, so there's going to be a lot of wrestling references today. So yeah, here we go. We are in Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time, probably one of the best early 2000s games that came out. And how do I know that it was one of the best games? Because literally a year later came a sequel. A year later, Andrea, a sequel came.
Oh yeah. So
And the year after that, the third. And that's the Prince of Persia trilogy that a lot of people think of just before Assassin's Creed came out.
Many men that day sought to win honor and glory on the battlefield, that their king might say to them, as Khosrow said to Rustam, "You are the noblest of my warriors." From the moment my sword tasted blood, I knew this would not be my way. I would win my father's praise, not by killing, but by being the first to find the Maharaja's treasure vault and the wonders within.
So this is actually one of the things that I really like about this game is while you're playing, the prince is kind of telling his story. He's explaining things from his perspective as events unfold. And so in a lot of cases, that really helps the narrative of the story. In fact, if people didn't hear this before, I'll go ahead and pause this right now and just wait a little bit. Because it's literally told kind of from a narrative perspective.
Shall I go on?
And you get that. So you get, shall I go on?
Now, where
Or
was
when you
I?
save the game, should I continue my story from here? Kind of thing. I really
Yep.
do love that. But you're the one that actually picked for us to do Prince of Persia, so I guess the first question that I've got to ask, Andrea, is why Prince of Persia? What brought you into the series? Because up until a couple of years ago, you hadn't heard of it.
Well, I only went and saw the movie. That's all I had my exposure for it.
Yeah, and you had heard from me that it was based off a game. And so at that point, like, that just kind of sparked your curiosity and you wanted to learn more?
Oh yeah, and plus I love to watch platforming type games.
Even though this game technically started as a cinematic platformer.
Pretty
So-
much, yeah.
Oh, boom! Oh, crap. Okay, I almost ran off the wall here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just warn people in advance. We are playing on the revamped PS3 trilogy, which has had a reputation of being buggy. So if we have issues, that's kind of why. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to go through these games, but I do know that later games had issues when they got brought up to PS3 standards.
Yeah, we'll just cross our fingers that we won't have too much issues along the way.
Exactly. Oh no! We busted a hole in the wall! In fact, we were tempted to try this out via PC, but it didn't work out. That was really sad, too.
Well, yeah, because we're not running on XP anymore.
Well, nobody's running on Windows XP anymore unless they have just that old a PC. Ah, screw you. Boom. Yes, people, I say screw you a lot when I play a game. Sorry. Just the way it goes. Okay, so now we actually get to deal with some of the platforming in this game, which, in my opinion, is one of the better platformers of the early 2000s. Yes, Alex, in the background in the ether, I did say it. It's better than Mario frickin' Sunshine, which came out around the same time. I don't care. It's better. Well, that's your opinion. I don't care. My opinion is gold because that's my opinion. Oh, jeez, my bad. Hey, look, I killed off the prince.
Wait. That's not how it happened.
Yeah, that's not
Where
how.
was I?
See, again, this is being told from a story perspective. It's like, wait, that didn't happen. I love that idea. No, I just pressed a button too many times. So that was my fault. But hey, I get to do this again. Now, cutscenes will replay. We can't necessarily fix that. But I will say this, if we start having enough deaths, we'll just magic cut to where we were again. Just to make things a little bit easier for you guys. And it's funny, so you watched the Sands of Time movie, and then at that point you got sparked to go into the series. So I'm going to ask the honest question. Which is better, the movie Sands of Time or this? I can already see you figuring out the PR answer here. There's no such thing as a PR answer. Just speak from the heart here.
A PR answer?
Yeah, I can already see you saying, like, well, they both have good quality. No, we're not playing public relations here, people. Which was better, the movie that tried to do the same events as this game or the game?
Well, it's been a while since I've seen the games version, but, you know, I think the games are usually pretty good better than the movies, but you know.
And that's a good answer. See, my problem was, I agree with you. I think the Prince of Persia movie was pretty good. My only problem was, it should not have been named The Sands of Time. It should have been its own plot. In fact, since there was a game that came out for the movie called The Forgotten Sands, that's what the movie should have been called. It should have been just called Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands, and then tell the story that you wanted to tell with Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm okay with that.
I mean, was it the same exact plot as
It was supposed to be, but then they, you know, so they wanted to do the story of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, and then realized, oh yeah, there are certain elements of The Sands of Time that don't really work in a movie, and so they tried to tell the story differently. And therefore, it became a different story.
Shall I continue my story from here the next time we're interrupted?
Yes, Prince, you should totally continue on from here. And we'll just go ahead and do a quick save. Assuming it'll let me. There you go.
I'll start the story from here next time.
That's another cool thing that I like this game does, is like it reminds you that you can save this way. Alright, so woo! I love running along the wall. It's a fun thing to do in Prince of Persia. Whee!
Jeez, I wonder if that was even possible in real life. Running along the wall like that.
Don't ruin my immersion, Andrea. I can run across the walls. I just choose not
There
to.
it lay, just out of reach. The dagger of time. There was a treasure I could carry with pride as a trophy of our victory. If I could only get there.
There we go. Okay, so we get to do kind of our first platforming puzzle of the game.
Plus, I really, you know, after watching and some of the other platform games like Uncharted and Tomb Raider, it was just interesting to just see how Prince of Persia did their type of gameplay.
Mm-hmm. Especially considering that Prince of Persia, as much as Alex is going to knock me for saying this, but it's got to be said, like, Mario Sunshine didn't necessarily innovate platforming in that era. And yes, I did say that, and if you don't like that Shadow Blazer, then you know where to stick it. Sands of Time, however, did.
Well, I thought
it actually innovated a lot of platformers that would come out later. I would actually say Assassin's Creed was influenced a lot by its predecessor, as well as Uncharted was influenced by it. I'm sorry, were you going to make something good for Alex? It's okay, Alex understands.
I thought you were gonna try not bashing him so much.
But he's not here. I can bash him all. No, I'm just pointing this out. Like, this is why I don't like Mario Sunshine. And, you know, Alex would be like one of those people that would say, yes, Mario Sunshine's an innovator. No, it's not. Especially considering, like, after this 2002 platformer, how many games that were like it in some way were influenced by. Like we said, Assassin's Creed, Uncharted. I would actually dare say that pretty much any 3D platformer that came out in the PS3 era was kind of influenced by Sands of Time. Not in the time mechanics, but definitely by how they did 3D platforming. Oh no! And this is something that we have to get used to now. Oh crap. No, can't do that. Can we... I can't remember. Can we jump down all the way? Oh, yes. Yes, you can. Okay. For a second there, I almost died. There we go. So, I guess the next question to get into is, what are your thoughts on the other Prince of Persia games? The ones that came before this. Do you like or dislike them? And this would be the cinematic platformers that came out.
Is it like the ones that are just like...
Yeah, Prince of Persia Classic, basically. Like, what's your thoughts on them?
They're okay, but,
Would you rather play this or that?
I'd probably rather play this, but, you know, because...
I like cinematic platformers just as much as anybody, but cinematic platformers are their own kind of monster. So at that point, I'm glad that Prince of Persia started there and is one of the esteemed franchises of that. But yeah, I prefer this one over it.
Plus, I don't know how lucky you would be to find those old games, you know?
It wouldn't be too hard. They've been rebooted a couple of times. I would actually dare say there's probably more reboots of those than there are of the Ubisoft trilogy. Which is kind of a crying shame, because it actually was kind of good. At least Sands of Time was. Warrior Within and Two Thrones had issues, but at least as far as I'm concerned, they did. But just look at this. How is this not influenced? Like, how did Uncharted not get influenced by Prince of Persia, guys? I'm literally climbing a statue.
Oh, yeah. Or Tomb Raider.
Yeah, or Tomb Raider.
All those.
Well, not the PlayStation Tomb Raider, but like the later reboot from Square Enix. Ah, crap. Okay. Whoa. Ah, dang it. Gotta do this right. Oh, jeez, there we go. The Dagger of Time. Prince? Prince. Oh, hi.
Crap! We're gonna die!
Wow, this thing has a rewind button. He treats it like a gun.
I had what I came for. It was time to get out. Now.
Yes. Oh, jeez. Wrong one. Whee! See, I love this. I love platforming in this game. It's so fun. I've done it who knows how many times. There was actually a point where I would rent this game yearly just to play it again.
Makes me want to play it.
There we go. You gotta be careful, though, because you can't have those moments. Well, that's why we own the game now. No, I kind of insisted on playing this one because I love Sands of Time. I honestly don't care if you play Warrior Within or Two Thrones, but...
Father, I have brought us honor and glory.
Your Majesty, you promised me my choice of the Maharaja's treasures. That dagger.
Surely you won't deny the lad a souvenir of his first battle. You may have your choice of all the Maharaja's other treasures. Except that hourglass. That will make a fine gift for the Sultan of Azad when we pass through his city. And some exotic animals for his menagerie. And a few dozen slave girls. Yes, that should be enough. I want no animals or maidens harmed until I have chosen. Let it be known, King Sharaman is merciful in victory.
Trust not a man who has betrayed his master, nor take him into your own service, lest he betray you too. I learned the truth of this to my sorrow, the day that we arrived in Azad as the Sultan's honored guests.
My friend.
My friend, your visit brings joy and honor to my poor and humble dwelling. If only you'd given me time to prepare a proper welcome.
The glories of Azad are famed throughout the world. And yet, the best is yet to come. I give you the Sands of Time. May the friendship between our kingdoms endure as long as time itself.
The sand, why does it glow?
I can tell you. Inside the hourglass is a marvel that no living man has seen. Alas, only the dagger can unlock the Sands of Time, and it belongs to a greater one than I. A young prince, dearer to his father than all the wealth of India. Perhaps he will oblige.
No. No! Stop!
Is it meant to do this?
Alicia Sigataha!
Give me the dagger. No. You have unleashed the sands of time. I can undo what you have done. Give it to me.
Oh, snap.
You done goofed, boy.